is this? Tabletop Island, huh? Let's see what this is all about.
Welcome to Tabletop Island. I'm Bernardo, your host, and today we're going to be talking about painting minis. I love it. Now let's go back a little bit and backtrack to what I said prior. Painting is a unique craft and I respect it, but I absolutely hate it, and I can't believe you guys spend all this time doing it. It blows my mind. It frustrates me so much. Yeah, I said that I hated miniature painting, and I only did it because I felt that I had to, because no one was going to do it for me, and if I did pay someone to do it for me, that would cost a lot of money, probably worth more than the game itself, which I'm not willing to do. I am not that crazy, even though I felt that crazy after attempting my first miniature painting, which was this zombie, as you can see here. Nothing too crazy about it. It may seem good for the average viewer here who has never actually painted or seen very detailed paintings of miniatures, but this is kind of not so great. So I decided to kind of take more stabs at it. In fact, in the video itself, I did say I was going to at least try, because I felt forced to, because again, no one was going to paint minis for me. But I ended up finding a game worth me painting the minis, and they were a lot larger than those little zombies, so it was a lot better practice for me, even though there were a lot of small areas on these. And that is Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid. I love this game, and I'm so excited to bring it to the table after I paint everything for it. I've been watching so many playthroughs. I am absolutely ready. But let's get into the miniature part. Take a look at this. So initially they came in a solid color, and then I primed them so they were completely kind of a white. I primed them white, and then I went over them with a base coat and the details on certain areas, and then I used a null oil, which kind of created the shading for it, and then I went back in with either a lighter shade or that same shade depending on which miniature it was, and brought back in the detail, keeping the lines in there for the shading and to really make it pop. And this is the outcome I had, which was all the Power Rangers I've done thus far, including Lord Zed, which I am extremely proud of. Take a look at this. Fantastic. I can't stress enough, I am not a miniature painter, nor am I experienced at all. I did take a look at this video by Daddy Louie. His videos were fantastic. I will have a link in the description if you want more details as to the specific paints and a little bit more as to what it took to kind of get there. And he explains it perfectly. It did not drag on too long, and he went in for each individual Power Ranger and what colors you need. And for the blue one, he really walks you through it. I recommend starting with the blue and going through that video if you do plan on kind of diving into this too, specifically for this game. But this will help you out for future games. Non-oil, all this like knowledge that I got over how to make things pop and shading and things like that, I never would have found out from all these other videos, because I would have to find that specific game that would teach me the specific technique. But these techniques I feel like will drag on to any miniature painting. He did a fantastic job, and honestly I was not confident at all with it. And then I took a look at another few videos from a few different people and took some advice that I was too scared to take, but I decided to go all in and do it properly. The first is one that I didn't think I ever needed and I thought was silly to buy. That was a wet palette / make. I ended up buying one. It was like 10 bucks. Why not? So a wet palette is kind of a plastic container that has a great seal, or a perfect seal to it, that has a sponge layer at the bottom. It is completely wet. And whenever you have kind of a parchment paper on top with the paint on top, it keeps it wet. And I didn't think keeping paints wet were super important. You just add a little bit of water and boom, you're back, right? Wrong. I was completely wrong. In fact, when I was trying to paint these over time, because I didn't have time to just straight up paint all these in one day, and nor did I want to waste paint, the wet palette made it so I didn't have to waste paint. It was a fantastic tool. The other thing that I learned was brushes. One of the big misconceptions I definitely fell into, and I'm sure a lot of others have too, get the smallest brush you can, because if you do, you can get all the small areas and cover all the big areas. Why not? Makes perfect sense. That is wrong, because then you have too many brush strokes on a lot of the wider areas and it just looks not so great. And I didn't really grasp that at first, but when someone explained that, Miniac I believe explained it. I'll leave a link to his channel because he's great too for miniature painting when you want to kind of take it to that next level. But in terms of what I utilized for these paintings, I did use Daddy Louie's videos. he did a great job, and I've kind of built upon that and kind of taken through the stages to paint my other stuff too, which is great. Now, the only thing I would say I lack, which is something I'll probably still continue to kind of get some advice until I get a better wide range of paints, that is figuring out which paints to use, like what shades look best, this and that. I haven't tested nearly as many, so by him telling me every single paint I needed in every step, that made my life that much easier and made painting a lot more enjoyable, because I was only focusing on the painting aspect and less on the let me figure out what I'm going to do here, here, and here. He created all the steps for me already. All I had to do was dive in and do it properly, and I think I did a great job. This is the second set of things I've painted. The blue one specifically is the second mini I've ever painted, period. The first mini I painted was again the zombie, which looks absolutely terrible, but honestly, I am very happy with miniature painting now. Do I want to do this all the time? No, it is quite relaxing though. At first when people were saying that, I was like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. It'd be relaxing if my miniatures were already painted, but no, I very much enjoyed it. I could watch a show, paint things, kind of have things running in the background, get a few other exports for video, stuff like that done. It really worked, and honestly, I'm very happy that I didn't give up in miniature painting, and I don't think you should either. Again, take a look at my other video, I'll leave that in the description too. I was not too thrilled with miniature painting, and I feel like I did a pretty good job with the zombie, and little did I know, I'm going to do a lot better the next time, and I'm very excited about that. But that is honestly all I have for you guys today. Again, if you are interested in notifications, there is a bell up there somewhere. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I do appreciate any feedback. I'm trying to make these videos more and more outrageous, and with your guys' help, I have been doing so. Monday, regular board game reviews. Wednesday, weekly updates / talks. And then on Friday is my vintage board game reviews. That is all I have for you guys today. I will see you guys next time.